My name is Michael, and this is my friend Enoch. And we reached a point where our lives were changed drastically. We both used to play hours of video games and watch television and try to escape in comedy and things like that. But we found that by learning things about this statue and this dream described in Daniel 2, through ministries like Amazing Facts, that our lives were able to be changed and transformed the more we learned. So we are here today to tell you more about that. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Enoch Leffingwell, and I'm from Southern Oregon.
And my name is Michael Troyanosky, and I am originally from Pennsylvania.
Our story begins when I was 16. I was very depressed from age 11 to 16. I was playing a lot of video games. In high school, I started getting into drugs and college parties, and I was hanging out with the wrong crowd. One day I was at a party and I just got to the bottom of the bottom, and I realized this was the most depressed I've ever been. I just hit rock bottom, the lowest point that I've ever been. And the thought came to me, when was I the happiest? And immediately I remembered it was when I was on fire for Christ. I was like, what? You mean to tell me I had the most joy and peace when I was on fire for Christ? Because I am the furthest thing from that right now. That is the last thing on my mind or life. And so I started to seek after God, and I'm like, I want that again. And I asked God, what must I do to have a relationship with you? And he's like, you gotta quit playing video games and you've gotta change your friend. And I'm like, oh, because I was playing a lot of video games. But I was just so sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I decided when I went home that I was gonna quit entirely. So then I had more free time on my hands. I'm like, well, I guess if I'm gonna be a Christian, might as well start playing start studying the Bible. And I got a hold of this pocketbook from Amazing Facts called The Search for the True Church. And I read that, and I'm like, this is amazing. Never have I heard things like this before. And it was answering so many questions right there from the Bible. I'm like, where can I learn more from this? And so I looked on the back of the book, and it said Amazing Facts. I'm like, Amazing Facts, what is that? I'm like, and in this generation, what do we do when we don't know a question? We just Google it. So I get on Google, and I'm like, Amazing Facts. I find the website, and then I'm like, look at all this information. There's so many different studies. So I devoured the library of sermons. I read through every single one of those. I found the YouTube channels, and I started watching a lot of Doug Batchelor's videos on there. And I'm like, look at this guy. He's able to teach the same subjects from using a whole different set of verses every time. And I'm like, the way that this group of people studies the Bible is unlike anything I've ever seen, and it really attracted me to the truth. So I was doing Bible studies with a Bible worker, and in between those Bible studies, I found out about the 28 study guides. And so I went to an ABC's and I bought the 28 study guides. I bought them on a Tuesday, and I had them all finished by Thursday while I was going to school for 5 hours a day. I was so thirsty because I realized that all my pain, misery, and sorrow in life was a result of sin. And sin is a transgression of the law. The sooner I can get sin out of my life, the better my life got. So I just wanted to learn more. I had this unquenchable thirst, and I was just studying. And the more I learned, the better my life got, which made me want to learn more. And I'm like, this is the answers that I have been looking for. And so that's why I went through all those 28 study guides until eventually there came a point, maybe 6 months, 8 months, I'm not too sure how, but into my Christian experience, I was listening to a sermon by a pastor on evangelism. And it was so convicting. I realized that my need to go share with others the amazing, wonderful truths that I've been learning. And the realization came to me, Enoch, you are sinning. You are being a spiritual glutton by constantly eating the little book and studying too much and not working off those spiritual calories in the salvation of souls. I'm not sharing in proportion with what I'm receiving. And I'm like, I felt so guilty. I'm like, Lord, forgive me. What can I do? I realize the call to share with others, but I have nothing to offer. I've wasted my life playing video games. I have no skills, I have no people skills, I have no, like my connections, my abilities, my talents, they're so few. And I was just like, I have nothing to offer you, but you say that you want my heart and I'm willing to give you that. How can I do it? And he showed me that it was an internet ministry that led me to the Lord, Amazing Facts. So God asked, why can't I use an internet ministry through you to lead others to the Lord? And I was like, that makes sense. I could make videos like Amazing Facts and be able to answer other people's questions. So I started a YouTube channel and started recording videos and posting things on Facebook, and that's where Michael comes in.
Yes, and the portion of my life I was at when he started making videos, I was a huge YouTube watcher, but before I get to that, I want to just give you a short background of where I come from. I grew up in a house that we went to church every week almost. We celebrated Christmas and Easter and had all these traditions, and I was very passionate about Christ and biblical things from an early age, but I was ignorant largely. I only knew what I knew, and when I asked questions, I just was told like pretty much that this is the way we do it, this is the tradition. There was no thus saith the Lord given to me or anything like that. So I sort of, as a young adult and teenager, I was like a wandering Christian. I identified as a Christian, but I had no home. And I started to learn what the Bible was teaching and things like that. And my custom was, as a young man, around 17 to 20, I worked as a roofer, and my friend and I, we worked as roofers, we went home, we watched YouTube videos, we went, and then we came to work and we talked about the YouTube videos, and that is what we did. And it was not too long until my friend met a man in Europe who was making YouTube videos. I think he was 19 or 20 at the time, I do not remember.
I was 18. Robert?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
And Robert introduced me to Enoch, and Enoch here was making videos. He was talking about Michael the Archangel, and my name was it was one of the first videos he shared with me, and that was all about who Michael the Archangel is, and it was fascinating, and especially my name being Michael and the Lord who led me to that conclusion prior, like months earlier. And so Enoch shared with me the things that he had been learning from Amazing Facts. He showed me this method of Bible study, these question-answer formats where you could ask any question and you could just go right to the Bible for an answer. And I really appreciated that about Amazing Facts and how it operated, and about how Enoch shared with me and studied with me. And I was just fascinated to see that there was a thus saith the Lord, there was an it is written for every question that I could have. And Enoch would say to me, I might not have the answers, but I am confident the Bible has the answers. And that really stuck with me. And I was just so encouraged. I started to just, the Bible talks about how it relates eating and study. So I started to just like devour these studies. I remember being on the Amazing Facts website too. I ended up there through Google or perhaps Enoch's suggestion, and I just started to just dig through those things, explore, some Doug Batchelor sermons and things like that on YouTube. And I just was able to see that there was a harmonious agreement with the things that I was learning and the things that the Bible said. I could open my Bible and I could see the words there, and I didn't have to trust man. I could have an answer for anyone that would ask me, a reason for the hope that was in me. And I was just so blessed. I like Enoch, spent hours playing video games for a large portion of my teenage years, and even into young adulthood. And I was delivered from just like smoking and poor dietary choices and all of these things. And it was these studies, when I trace these things back, it was the content, especially the media content, that Amazing Facts and Robert in Europe and Enoch was creating, that were instruments in the hands of God to be transformative powers in my life. And I am so thankful for ministries like Amazing Facts, for people like Enoch Leffingwell and Robert my friend Robert in Europe, that they do what they do, because I often say that the reason I am in the church I am in today is because of YouTube. Without YouTube, without things like Skype, without things like these social media platforms and Amazing Facts, that is so focused on media ministry in addition to traditional publishing, I wonder where I would be. I do not really even want to think about it, because I'm so thankful for the work that Amazing Facts and other media ministers and ministries have done.
Absolutely. And because of the media ministry and the publishing and the different opportunities, the Lord has blessed me with the privilege to be in full-time ministry for the last 6 years. Michael and I have been able to work together off and on during these years. We're currently working at a missionary training school, and he teaches colporteur, and I teach people how to do Bible work, and we love using Amazing Facts websites that they have on whatever questions about the Sabbath, whatever questions State of the Dead. Where I teach our Bible workers that if they're asked a question that they don't know how to answer, just go to amazingfacts.com, and in their advanced search, you just type in the question, and it'll pull up some resources, and it's these tools level the playing field. You don't have to know, as a Bible worker, all of the answers, but sometimes it's more about knowing how to find them. And Amazing Facts gives so many answers to some frequently asked questions of the Bible, and it's just a powerful tool for other people to use. It was instrumental in my early walk, and I still use it for teaching others. And so it's really been a blessing to be able to work at the Lord's vineyards.
Yes, and I truly think that Amazing Facts is a very appropriate name for the ministry, because they present these facts, which is just a synonym for truth. They present the truth, and the truth is amazing. The truth sets you free. The truth makes you free, and it is truly amazing and incredible.
Absolutely. So that's basically our testimony in a nutshell. We once were lost, but now we're found, and there's still work to do, and we are seeking to put our hands to the gospel plow, and we're very thankful for Amazing Facts' influence in our life.